You see, mate, and the map has loaded. The countdown has begun, and welcome everyone. Welcome to map number 1 in our second series of the day. And spawning here in the top left-hand corner of the map, the cranky duckling, the Brazilian duckling. It is Erik.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Brazilian TerraN. He is blue, representing himself. It is TerraN. The guy who just took down Shakti in a reverse sweep. My god. Just doesn't give up, mate.
Now, mate, I'm very interested about the kind of mind games that we're going to see this matchup, because correct me if I'm wrong, TerraN is one of the players that Erik practices the most because, he usually needs to play versus Kelasur. So these two players have probably played against each other recently a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they know like the ins and outs of their styles, right?
Yes. Not just in practice, but even in tournament play. Like, they've played each other recently a fair amount of times. So this is going to be very interesting as well. On top of that, TerraN also practices a lot with Kelasur. I wouldn't be surprised if Kelasur did kind of work with TerraN leading up to this series as well, because Kelasur wants his fellow boy to do well. So there's a lot that goes into this series, right? The mind games, the preparation. And like, this is the biggest, this is like a very large tournament for the Brazilian scene. I'm sure they're taking this very seriously here, and I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go, mate.
I love for sure's comment in the chat. Just an FYI, I felt coerced betting into Erik. Like, are you coercing people?
Never take anything that for sure says seriously, okay? Oh god. Funada for sure is in the chat. Funada. And
Erik going for the really quick till base space.
Yeah, this is interesting. So he went for a very fast third hatchery, very aggressive third, and he went for 6 lings, not 4.
And now we see wildlife. There's a roach running on the way.
Oh my god, there is. Erik, he's doing whatever he can to try and deny scouting, but that Reaver, it doesn't get behind the mineral line.
I mean, he doesn't see, but by the way that the Zerlings were very like aggressive with their denial of the scouting, like TerraN, I'm pretty sure suspects something.
He should, and that is why he takes a fast third TC, mate. I think he's misreading the situation a little bit, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was expecting more Zerlings, maybe, but no roaches, mate. And yeah, the first roaches are coming out. Burrow is also starting for Erik, and mate, Erik is going to do a little roach push to start with.
Oh, just
what
a little.
What is going to... I mean, just a little, but let's be honest, a little is everything that the third player needs,
Exactly. So a couple of things just happened, right? Like, you were right in saying that 6 links is kind of shady, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense in this situation just because Erik went for a fast third base, right? Just because of how greedy he was. That's why TerraN isn't really suspecting too much. Meanwhile, the roaches are on the way. Not too many of them. Erik is joining up behind this, but this should deal a lot of damage, right? Like, there's no tank. There is a Banshee on the way, but the Banshee is not done yet.
They see the roaches and immediately TerraN evacuates the natural base, and mate, there's only Hellions and 1 Reaper. That's just not good versus Banshees.
Exactly. Now there's 0 mining here at the natural base. Already these roaches are dealing damage. Meanwhile, the Hellions, he knows how useless they are against roaches, so you know what? He just sends them across the map.
Yeah, he sends them across the map. Nice one for TerraN trying to do damage, but Burrow is done. So any drone that is threatened, TerraN just can burrow them, because Erik can just burrow them. Is he going to? Yeah, look.
Oh god, that he will, but you know what? AoE damage is what Hellions do, so they do still roast a couple of these workers, of these drones. At the same time, Banshee comes out. Oh no, he forced the lift off, and now he's underneath the CC.
What a small disaster for TerraN.
Oh god. There's no Banshee for scan.
I wish more players went for more burrow because little things like this can be so annoying and can buy so much time. Look how much economic damage Erik is doing by basically doing nothing.
Exactly. Jesus Christ. Like, this is something that TerraN wasn't expecting when he lifted up his CC, and he was punished for it. Now, Erik, you know, sure, he took some drone losses back at home, but he's been able to drone up pretty safely. He can use his roaches to defend at home as well. Banshee should be coming across the map pretty soon. Ooh, actually waiting for 2 Banshees. Uh-oh.
Going for the quick wall is not going to happen. A few SCVs went down for free. And yeah, made more. Roaches just doing the damage that they can, and yeah, just burrow, and yeah, everything is solved.
I love this burrow play, by the way. Meanwhile, at the same time, the Hellions do get into the natural base. Ooh, nice movement to buy those things, able to deny those Hellions. Still, 5 workers did go down, but the Hellions will be cleaned up.
Yeah, 9 workers went down. There's another couple of Hellions going into the third base, also doing more damage. This is good damage by TerraN. 50 workers for Erik, 44 for TerraN. Yeah, TerraN doing his best. He's still behind, but he's not as behind as he could have been.
Exactly. Like, this is the downside of taking this forward base if you're Erik, because it's a little bit more exposed, you know? There are more angles that the TerraN player can come in with his Hellions, so as a result, Erik did lose a decent amount of workers. Hopefully, he does expand further back here at the triangular third base. A little bit of more of a safer expansion for the 4th. And behind this, mate, upgrades are on the way. Like, Erik, he is getting into what he loves best, and that is Roach Ravager.
Yeah, Roach Ravager is going in. The Banshees come in, but there's a lot of queens that intercepted, mate. The Banshees are doing damage. 5 workers down. Even though they didn't have any clock and there was a lot of queens below them, they did damage. 6 workers.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of damage, to be honest, for those Banshees, especially without the investment into Cloak. That's something to consider as well. But Erik was able to defend in the end, and he's still getting into the swing of things. I'm a little bit surprised that we don't see a 4th base. Oh, I'm a little bit concerned about this. This 4th is so exposed, and I was talking about those, like, bio pushes earlier. Like, this is the location to push in if you're TerraN right now, especially because there's not that much creep. Like, sure, it's pushing out now, but there's still a lot of room to work with.
Look at the bright side, Light. Look at the bright side. It is a very uncommon location to put your 4th base, so it is probable that TerraN is not going to notice until very late. Question mark?
I hope so.
He's going directly for the creep.
Yeah, exactly, but he does get pushed away towards the hatchery, and now this hatchery is so exposed, he's gonna try and focus it down, but the roaches are here just in time.
Nice, a burrow roach delaying more the tier base of TerraN. Poor TerraN, I think TerraN has been having a hard time this day specifically to go into 3 bases, mate.
Oh god, feels bad, man. TerraN was even forced to make a missile turret, by the way, so he didn't waste the scan to deal with that roach. But eventually he did get it. Ooh, meanwhile, Erik. So there were a couple of avenues here for Erik, and it was either go Roach Ravager into Lurkers, which he has done in the past, but he's pulling a little bit of a Miyamaki here, going Roach Ravager into Infestors.
Infestors could work really well if a good fungal lands on the army of TerraN, because, you know, fungal plus a few Ravagers with corrosive bile, and your army suddenly is gone.
Yeah, definitely. A lot is banking on those Infestors, on those fungals. Meanwhile, this drop, dealing a lot of damage. A queen does get picked up. Not just a queen, but almost all 3 creep tumors. Actually, all 3. Oof.
Nice pick up by TerraN. 1 queen, a few quick tumors for only a couple of marines. Totally worth it.
Exactly, and here we go. The follow-up push is on the way. We got plenty of tanks, marines, and marauders coming out here for TerraN. 1-1 is completed. 2-2 is a little bit delayed. The armory was a little bit mistimed, so Erik does have that going for him. Erik will be ahead in upgrades, but the creep is what's worrying me a little bit here, because again, trying to push and engage off of creep is so difficult as a Zerg player.
Yeah, definitely. So you always want to have your creep as much as possible outside the map. And this is why, as a TerraN player, and also as a Protoss player, you want to keep the creep at bay, you know?
Yeah,
Sometimes that
exactly.
something that I've been doing in my ladder games recently, just because I'm not as a good player as these two that are playing. I build a Raven. I build a Raven and just with a couple of Banshees or maybe a few Helions, and I just creep all the creep that I see along the way.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not? There's a lot of value to be had there. You can save a lot of energy from those scans. Meanwhile, speaking of, we have this massive Doom drop coming into the main base. We do have a couple of Lings and a couple of Spores here, but again, Erik doesn't anticipate this coming.
Yeah, links are good, but they're not bailing me. So this army should be able to land and try to and do some damage.
Yeah, exactly. And there we go. It does land. He forces a reaction from Erik. The entire army moves towards the north. At the same time, TerraN is pushing towards the fresh base.
Erik was really, really out of position, and now the rest of his army is also out of position for this thing. So yeah, this is a good move by TerraN, mate. 9 workers went down.
Yeah.
And with the tank here, he has enough DPS to defend.
Exactly, like Erik, he's having such a hard time cleaning up this army in his main base. At the same time, he has plenty of lurkers here to defend against the other push, so he should be okay. Fungals do land.
Yeah, nice fungals. A lot of these marauders are going to fall down and made lurkers.
Oh, the lurkers do a lot of damage. Finally, the drop in the main base does get cleaned up, and this is huge because Erik was being so greedy with his tech, going into lurkers, going into hive, going into infestors. He has defended, and now he has a superior army. He has all the spellcasters, even vipers.
Two junks, you only want to use one, but sure, go ahead.
Yeah, energy.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. It's not the most efficient, but it's okay. Meanwhile, Erik's still being very annoying, just forcing more scans, delaying bases.
Yeah, it's super annoying. I mean, the same way that I wish more players open with Raven to creep, I wish more players open with Borrow just to do this.
Yeah.
Just to do this. It is so worth it. I mean, how much is Borrow? 100, I think.
Yeah.
Or even less. So, totally worth it.
Definitely. Like, it's very cute here from Erik. Meanwhile, TerraN, he backed off. He's trying to get another base up and running. When it comes to his tech, he's still stuck on Buyer here. There's no real answer, I feel, to those lurkers. Like, you do need, like, he does have a couple of liberators, but they're being used to harass, not in the main army.
Man with gun is a good unit.
That's pretty good. That's true. It's all you need, mate.
The question is, what is better, man with gun or a spiky unit?
Spiky boys, mate. Spiky boys are pretty good. Meanwhile, liberators are finally coming in to harass. There are spores, though. All these liberators are going to go down.
Yeah, only 4 workers killed between the two. Definitely not worth it. That was a good reaction by Erik, and this one also goes down. No, the whole infantry disappears in one instant, mate. That was like 40-50 supply.
That's game. The hold position on the lurkers. Erik was so patient there. There are tanks to defend, but mate, we have vipers, we have blinding cloud, we have UX, we have everything that we need. That was a disastrous fight there for TerraN, and now the lurkers are pushing into the fort.
Yeah, I mean, 160 army supply for Erik and 63 for TerraN. Basically, half of the army went there in just 1 second, mate. This is one of the I will say bad things about StarCraft 2. You miss out 1 second of gameplay, and then suddenly all your army is gone.
Exactly. That whole position was just so brutal there. In the end, there are too many tanks, and there are Vikings to help protect these tanks from the Vipers, so Erik does back off. But that was a massive blow from TerraN, and now he has to turtle up. He has to try and rebuild what he just lost.
Yeah, which is a lot. TerraN is going to need quite some time to rebuild his army, and Erik, meanwhile, he can do whatever he wants. He can take to anything. He can take more bases, and yeah, mate. I mean, this is really bad for TerraN.
Definitely. Something that Erik is lacking here, especially because there's no real aggression anymore from TerraN, is respreading that creep. He barely has creep reaching the halfway point, and because of that, like, TerraN's pushes are still quite scary. So yeah, he does have to work on that a little bit. When it comes to his main army, he has everything he needs. As you were saying, like, mate, lurkers, vipers, fungals, infestors, 3/3 is on the way as well for Erik, and he is repositioning, looking to hit this fresh base from TerraN. Oh, we go,
Yeah,
guys.
see how he does that. There it goes, and they have cloak. They oh nice. The ghost snipes both of the vipers that Erik has.
Exactly, and without Vipers, he cannot abduct those tanks or use those blinding clouds. So a very nice play there by TerraN. At the same time, Erik going for a massive run by here. There's not a lot of buffer, so he's gonna get on top of the tanks.
Yeah, he's gonna go on top of the tanks. 2 tanks went down, 3 tanks. He's going to take a 4th. No, only 3 tanks. 3 tanks for a bunch of settings. Sure, go ahead. I mean, it is important to keep the tank number manageable.
Exactly, and Erik has enough resources, has enough bank to afford these losses, to afford those trades with his Lings. Meanwhile, he's still rebuilding those Vipers. Again, he can't really push into this entrenched position without his spellcasters, so again, that's why it was so important that TerraN was able to get those snipes off, but he's still struggling a little bit. He needs to get a couple more of those good trades because we have another massive Ling run by.
Yeah, another massive big run by the 3 tanks on siege here. There's a little bit more of buildings here for TerraN. Let's see how many tanks can he take out. He'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks, 5 tanks. That's a lot of tanks went down, man. And the factory and the workers, mate. Where is TerraN?
TerraN, he didn't want to leave. He finally comes back home with a couple of these Marines. At the same time, Erik, he's getting ready to push in with his entire army. He has to be careful. Again, these ghosts are so dangerous. Those Vipers are a little bit exposed.
Yeah, those Vipers are so exposed. And there we go, mate. They're about to be killed.
Oh, God. Only two.
The third one got saved. I cannot believe that the third one survived. I was so sure he was going to go down as well.
Oh, God, exactly. Now, Erik, again, this buys a little bit more time. Erik, he may want to rebuild those Vipers and then push in, but at the same time, he doesn't want to give TerraN too much time. Now, finally, he's pushing on forward.
Yeah, EMPs over the Vipers, so the Vipers are not going to be anything in this engagement. And yeah, the lurkers borrow, 1 base go down, 2 bases go down, and GG, Erik stays game number 1.
GG, well played. Erik does take the first game in the series, but do not fret if you are a TerraN fan. TerraN has been up against the wall plenty of times, and he still has it in him to bring it back. But what a game 1.
I mean, it was everything was very even, going like pretty good for TerraN, and then suddenly he lost 50, 60 supply in one little misstep, and everything went downhill from there.
Exactly. What I will say is that even though things were very even, it did feel like Erik was for the most part in control of the game. Like with that burrow, he was being so annoying, delaying so many bases. He was also being very greedy with his tech, and he got away with it. Things were scary, if you remember, with that massive doom drop in the main base of Erik. Like that was a terrifying moment for Erik. But after he overcame that, then he was in the driver's seat and he was able to eventually take that game. But I also feel like that's something that could only happen on Romanticide.
Like, I hope you learn from Erik and you start researching more burrow from now on in your later games.
I'm tempted. I'm legitimately tempted.
I mean, don't be tempted. Do it. If you're going to be tempted, at least do it for a good reason, and this is a good reason.
We'll see. We shall see here. Oh, God. As we're getting ready for game number 2, but again, like that style from Erik, like I know that he wants to get there. He wants to get to those lurkers, the Vipers, the Infestors, and Romanticide is the easiest map to do that on. Are we gonna see it again? I don't know if we will, to be honest. Like I don't know if the games are gonna be able to last that long.
See, mate, the countdown has begun. 2,000 atmospheres, map number 2.
Here we go. Meanwhile, C for sure is in the chat. Not using Banelings against Bio is triggering me. I mean, there are some players who go Ling Bane, and there are some players like Erik who go Roach Ravager into Lurkers, mate.
Here we go. Welcome everyone to 2000 Atmospheres LE, map number 2 in our best of 5 series. And the first player here spawning on the bottom left hand side of the map, the TerraN player, the red player is TerraN.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player. He is blue, currently up 1-0 in this best of 5 lower bracket finals. It is Erik, the CranKy Duckling himself. God, look at that duck. It's beautiful.
Shout out to who designed the logo? Who designed the Duckling?
Shout out to Zook, mate. Zook, do you remember Zook?
Yeah, he was TV's editor. Or,
his editor, his graphic designer, his manager. Like he had a lot of roles over there.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Zook. I believe he's still around doing things. Yes.
Yeah. He still runs his graphic design business. That is what he primarily focuses on. I believe he streams every now and then, but not too much. Oof.
Yeah. So coming back to this game, like standard openings for both of these players. Reaper expand for TerraN. We see a hatch gas pool for Erik. The question is, how aggressive is Erik going to be this game? Like the previous game, he went nuts with a fast steel base into fast roaches, mate.
It's one of those things where we have to keep an eye on. We have to keep an eye on the roach warren timing here. That's what I have to assume, and I'm not too sure what that cheekiness is about, to be honest. But okay.
I think they saw each other with the Overlord and the SCV. I think that was it, because otherwise, no idea.
Yeah. I assume so.
Maybe these two are speaking over because you know how they are using their webcams. Maybe they're speaking over Discord and just bantering around a little.
It's possible, mate. It's possible. Oh god. But yeah, like again, what we have to look for is the roach warren timing. I will be shocked if Erik does go Ling Bane at any point in this series. It's not like he can't do it. He has done it in the past, but again, it's just not his preferred style.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yesterday versus Kelasur, he did a grand total of 0 times. I do not expect he's going to do it with versus TerraN, and mate, 8 Zerglings are in production at the moment.
Yeah, interesting choice. I mean, Link's speed is going to finish up relatively soon, so Erik is going to be a little bit aggressive with these Lings, maybe go across the map, maybe catch a couple of workers off guard. Meanwhile, we do have a 1-1-1 opening here. It looks like TerraN wants to go into Banshees.
Yeah, Banshee, not bad. Oh, the Reaper managed to get in. He's going
God.
to see everything exactly what he needs. I think he also saw the number of Zerglings, question mark, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. The lanes for a moment there tried to attack the Reaper, and then they went across the map. They were a little bit distracted, but it looks like because he saw those Lings, there are no workers here at the natural. Yeah,
there are no workers here, and the Hellions are not going to come out. They are just amassing and ready to defend when they're ready. And yeah, sure, nice win for TerraN. Nice win for TerraN. And mate, do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, let's go. Just for you, Dad King, he heard your call yesterday, and he is going for the BC opener.
Yes, BC opening. So we're probably going to see a mech game in this timeline.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's very common to see BC into mech. You can transition nicely into that. You can still go into bio, so the option is still there for TerraN, but we shall see as he goes for a very fast third CC here. And Erik, he still has not seen this fusion core.
Yes, but there's an Overlord. There's an Overlord coming out now. How much would he? Oh no, the Overlord goes back. He doesn't want to see anything. Ooh, he saw that the factory switch, so he thought, there's nothing more here, you know? Everything is normal, and he's just going to come back. And mate, this is going to be pretty serious, especially because, mate, I cannot believe what I'm going to say, but Erik went with a Bailey Nest.
He did go for a Bailey Nest. I'm really concerned for him right now. Thankfully, TerraN is going for bio. We have 2 more Raxes on the way here, so opted not to go for that mech transition. So Ling Bane will do well here. What I'm more concerned about is the anti-air. We have spores in every single base, so because he knew it was a 1-1 opening, he has 6 queens in total. That is enough to deal with 1 BC as long as they are in position.
Yes, assuming they are in position, but only half of the queens are together, the others are one in each base. And let's see, mate. One thing important, there is also Burrow. Burrow is halfway researching, so it is possible that a BC arrives and Erik just burrows and loses nothing.
Yep, and here we go. BC immediately teleports into the main base. The queens are responding. They're trying to catch up here. And we'll see how many workers he gets done. He gets killed as a couple of drones are falling.
1, 2, 3, 4 workers. 4 workers, maybe 1 queen. Yeah, 1 queen. He needs to get out now. He needs to get out. Oh god, he's going to lose it. Oh, you cannot lose BCs. I mean, even if you do a lot of damage, you never want to lose the BCs because they're so expensive.
Exactly, but at the same time, the Hellions do get in. But, oh my god, the burrow does come into play. Forces a scan. A lot of drones are going down here.
16 drones like have been going down so far. One full base of drones that disappeared off this face of the earth. And yeah, 42 workers for Erik, 46 for TerraN.
Exactly, like this is the downside of Erik kind of skipping out on those lings. Like he had a load of queens to defend against the BC, that was great, but because he moved them all out of position, there was nothing to defend against the Hellions. The lings were just a little bit too late there, and TerraN, he's feeling so confident he's working on his 4th CC.
Oh, I love it. And again with the with the burrow settling blocking the tier base.
Being very annoying there. But Erik, he needs to do stuff like this, right? Because of all the economic damage he took earlier. Not just that, but because he's going Ling Bane Muta, as the Spire is on the way, like Larva matters so much more here. He needs to get more bases up and running. He needs to finish droning as soon as possible so he can start working on those lings, and he actually gets into the natural.
Yeah, Serlings enter the natural base of TerraN. How many workers will he be able to kill? The answer is 0. 0 workers lost so far, but oh look, the few Serlings that remain here hidden. And yeah, just a little later on the game, probably during the engagement, Erik is just going to unburrow and kill workers for free.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, TerraN missed it. He didn't notice, he didn't realize at all that lings did burrow in the midst of all the chaos, so at any moment they can come back. And that Spire is done. Upgrades are finishing up. Mutas are on the way. And the Spire hasn't been scouted, I believe. It has not. We still have a Missile Turret here at the 3rd base. It was put there to deal with the Burrowed Ling. So thankfully, he does have some anti-air, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, good call because, mate, Mutas are on the way. Cannot believe that Erik is going to go for a normal Ser game with Serling, Berling, Mutalisk.
Yeah, I'm really worried for him, to be honest. Like, these mutas have to deal a lot of damage. Like, in the previous games, we also saw his lack of creep spread. Like, going Ling Bane Muta is a completely different style from what we've seen normally from Erik. So we'll see how active he can be with these mutas. He has to be careful. There are a couple of Widow Mines spread out. Oof.
Nice Widow Mine shot. One muta instantly die and the others get caught, and Erik needs to go back.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have a Ling run by. Ooh, the tank is exposed.
One tank free. He also is going after the sensor tower. Nice. Be careful, Mitalis. Be careful with those Widow Mines.
Dancing with death for a moment there. He wanted to try and focus down the Widow Mines. He almost got one of them, but was forced to back off. He does have detection with his mutas. But again, he has map control. TerraN, he is stuck at home. Finally, he's starting to move out. And this is a little bit dangerous. A lot of lings get taken out, and I don't think Erik has any Banelings ready.
He does not. He only has a bunch of Zerlings, mate. Now finally 16 Banelings are about to be built, but there's a lot of creep that TerraN can easily clear before that. But meanwhile, Erik going for the counterattacks on both sides. One for Zerlings, one for Mutalisk.
Yeah, exactly. The lings are going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, the mutas are going toe-to-toe with all of these Marines. They take out the Widow Mines. The mutas are getting a little bit out of control. They take out more SCVs.
Yeah, they're trading really well versus this because there are so few Marines and no medivacs. They can easily trade with these Marines. Look how easily they disappear. TerraN is forced to come back and defend.
Yeah, exactly. TerraN, he didn't realize how undefended Erik was. If he, instead of clearing creep, honestly, he could have just gone for the base and maybe even killed the entire mineral line. But he didn't realize the situation he was in. He was forced to come back home because of the mutas, and now Erik had enough time to make all those banelings.
here come me. While TerraN is busy on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, Erik is going in. Oh, the workers, 17 workers instantly went down to those Banelings, mate.
Aye. Not just that, a couple of depots go down to the Lings as well. Erik,
Hey,
oh my god!
mines! The Banelings mines were incredible. Everything goes down for TerraN. And what does TerraN has left to defend?
Mate, he's got nothing, mate. He's got a couple of Marines, he's got medevacs, but that is not going to be enough. The Ling Bane crashes into the natural base. GG gets called.
Who knew? Erik can play Serling Banling Muta.
I would like to give credit to Ryu for that one. I don't know if you remember. You have to remember Ryu time and time again. I think it was against Chaos Fate. He would also Ryu. It was almost more impressive for Ryu because it was like in the middle of all these fights, he would keep borrowing Banelings like in the middle of everything. And I feel like Erik, he's taking a little bit of that.
Yeah, GG, good game for Erik, 2-0. Only one more, and he can take the series and return to fight Kelasur tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Exactly, mate. He's styling on TerraN a little bit here. You know, first game 1 with his traditional Roach Ravager. Game 2 with the Ling Bane Muta. The hell are we gonna see in game 3?
I mean, if you go Roaches in game number 1 and then you go Serlings in game number 3, you obviously only make mass queens in game number 3, right?
Exactly. Meanwhile, I love what Fernando just said. He said BCs versus Erik. Erik looks at the sky and the sky GGs. Oh god. Oh god, what an explosive game number 2 there. Very nice play by Erik. There were moments for TerraN, to be fair, right? Like again, Erik, it felt like he was being a little bit greedy there, you know, with the lack of Banelings from time to time, with his tech choices. But in the end, he got away with it. And now TerraN has to make the comeback happen again.
Yeah, man. I mean, he already did it 2 times in a row. I mean, versus the Zerglok and now versus Shakti. So I mean, if history is going to repeat himself, TerraN is going to win 3-2 this matchup. So I'm sorry, Light. Your boy here is done.